as at large. You're not on
Finance.
I was on plan, but then we had the reorganization.
I was on plan as well, and when we reorganized, we went on.
Cam currently is just on finance, currently. Tyler, you're currently on
Plan.
and finance. Bill doesn't count. Well, yeah, it does.
Yeah,
They got to
because
replace
you
him.
gotta replace
Bill, you're on
Solid
economic
waste.
development and solid waste.
And I'm currently on does the Community Corrections
I
count?
was gonna say, yeah, that's
Community
one I was just
Corrections
gonna bring
Board.
up, yeah.
And Finance Committee.
Okay.
So what were you going to do tonight, or
You don't like
Well, I was gonna do the,
discuss it and then all of it?
it doesn't matter.
Gets
I
ready
got
for
it down
next-
for tonight, but we can do it next week. or
I'll
next
have the
meeting.
certificates ready for the next
All right.
meeting.
We'll just do it
if they
next
wanna-
meeting.
If they want to agree to, well, it's the Board of Works
15.
appoint, if they want to fill Bill Carbach again for another 4-year
Bill will
term.
go on the plan commission, he said.
Okay.
And I would like that.
Okay,
And
then I'll
on,
change.
can we just talk about this as far as the economic development, CAM, and solid waste? Matt?
Well,
We got two other ones here too.
That's true. Forgot about that.
I don't know when solid waste is.
Solid waste meets, it's Monday,
They moved
8
it to
o'clock.
Tuesday, they moved it to Tuesdays at 8.
8 o'clock in the morning. They usually last an hour, at the most.
Okay.
We don't have to make a decision on this. I guess I'd like to see
With
when
the
those
plan
things
commission.
meet.
Well, the city council has to make a decision on who's gonna sit in on, well, but also
Plan.
on the, solid waste district, because you have an appointment to that position, to that board.
Oh, I understand, but this,
Right, it doesn't have to be done, right.
Economic Development meets on Friday, the second Friday of every month at 7:30.
AM.
Yeah, the solid waste district isn't gonna meet before you meet in
When do-
January, so you
Is that the
can
one
do
that
it
meets
in
on
January.
the second Friday, the solid waste, or is that the economic
Economic
development?
Development.
When solid waste meet?
It's now the third Tuesday of the month,
Yeah.
and it's not every month, they
They
have a
skip
schedule.
them monthly.
So I'll get,
They'll skip a couple.
What time of day? Morning?
8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
you want me to make a motion to adjourn?
Would you?
Yeah, it will.
I'll second.
You're adjourned.
We ran over 5
Okay,
minutes.
so we're not.
How's that,
we're not
Lucky?
gonna do
We're 5 minutes into council.
Okay, that's, we're comfortable with Bill taking that full
Bill,
position.
good job.
And I'll have it ready for the next.
Okay. Go, we're over.
Yeah.
Call meeting to order, have a roll call, please.
Cam Collier.
Here.
Bill Crown. Here. Matt Dyer.
Here.
Tyler Fulenkamp. Here. Ken Meyer.
Here.
I'd like to invite everyone to stand and recite the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We were all emailed the minutes of the November 17th meeting. Do we have any changes or additions to those minutes?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as emailed.
The motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. First item of business this evening is insurance proposals for the property and casualty insurance for the city of Decatur. And we'll have Tim open these. We have two quotes.
Or do we need to vote on that? So we have to
Tim?
tonight. Wow, that's hard.
You're all right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
We have two quotes, one from Graver Insurance.
I can do that.
Okay, the first quote was submitted by Graver Insurance. The package, which I assume is casualty liability, $106,176. Workers' comp, $61,254, for a total of $167,430. That's a combined package price.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Next one is, doesn't sit on the outside, Star.
Okay, the second quote is submitted by Star Insurance. Is for the casualty liability coverage. Workers' comp is not bid.
Got Smith here from Star, maybe he can tell you
Yeah,
what it
it's-
is for the number.
Yeah. Right.
Total amount on that 86.
Is that
come up in the system on where
where is that, Scott? That's what is it on a certain page? Or is it just a combination of the,
It's been on the third page, yeah, on the summary. Sorry. It is on my, yeah, for this. Should have had it on this
premium summary 8? Is it page 8?
page you're looking
Here we go.
at.
Okay, right here.
Right there.
Page 7.
Yeah.
Okay, total premium is $86,233.
86, 233.
And that does not include workman comp.
When Gravers did.
Gravers did.
I think the issue we come up with is we currently have the workers' comp through Gravers, and it's through the Downing, Bart, if you could help me, Downing Public Risk.
IPEP,
It's an IPEP program.
and it's administered by Downey.
Basically, I think what Downing is telling us is they only quote the existing carrier, which is Graver. Am I saying that right? Bart, if I say it wrong, please correct me.
No, that is correct. Basically, and I believe that Downey provided a letter to the mayor to explain that, but in an instance where EMC, which is the property carrier, and IPEP is the work comp carrier, those go through Downey. And in the instance where they already write both pieces of business, they will not split them right off and write them individually. And they will not, for lack of a better term, honor what we call an agent of record letter. So since basically the way Downey looks at it is since Graver has done all the work to process the policy, to get the numbers together and so on and so forth, they won't allow another agent then to come in after the fact. And
Well, I take that, Barb, then as they're taking away an opportunity that we have for each piece. We're never going to have a competitive price then because IPEP's not going to allow it. I mean, 86,000 versus what, 106,000? That's $20,000.
well,
More than that.
you have to take into consideration the fact that even your personal home and auto premiums are cheaper.
We're not talking about our personal home and
I
auto.
understand, but it's the same concept. When they combine them, if they lose a little money on the work comp, it's okay because they have the opportunity to make a little bit of money on the property and casualty. It works the same way with your home and auto policy. I mean, it's the same basic concept. It's why it's cheaper when you combine
Well, the
them.
city, don't you think the city should have that decision to make and not Downey?
Well, with that same thing said, Mayor, you don't have another work comp proposal.
Yeah, but the hope was, my hope was when we started doing this, is that, okay, we'll take IPEP, and they've done a good job for us in the past, and then you're basically taking away our right to have an agent of record.
No, because Downey, IPEP and EMC will not separate them if they already write them together. So even if you sent an agent of record letter to Downey to say, I want Star or Bixler or anybody else for that matter to administer the work comp, Downey, EMC and IPEP have an agreement to work together. They wouldn't separate those two.
So what you're saying the agreement is between IPEP and
Downey.
EMC?
No.
Right, Downey administers it, EMC does the property casualty piece, the liability part of it, IPEP does the workers' comp piece of it.
Well, excuse my ignorance, but
No, it's okay.
I think the county split it up, so why can't we? Adams County split it up.
Correct, but they were not already administering both pieces of it. The city of Bern is the same way. EMC will not write the property and liability for the city of Bern because they have Hidex died at the pool. So they won't write the property casualty piece of it because of that high diving. Downey still administers IPEP for them for the workers' comp piece,
So they'll do it for Bern, but they won't do it for Decatur.
only because EMC cannot write the property casualty piece. If EMC could write the property casualty piece, they would put them together.
It makes no sense to me.
Is there only one place we can get workman's comp?
Well, right now, we're
Well,
trying. We're never going to get a good price on the property and casualty because the workman's comp is knocking everything out.
Well, actually, the price for your property casualty is less this year than it was last year.
But it's still more than what the other quote is. And I'm sure we have to go through and make sure all of the coverages are the same and things like that, but just off the top of the head, $106,000 versus $86,000. We can now buy, we paid $20,000 more. And we can't buy workman's comp anyplace else.
No, you can't. There are private companies that you can get workman comp. It used to be, years ago, that IPEP was the cheapest place to get the coverage, but I think there's been more competition in this field recently, so it would be a question of whether you get a competitive quote from someone else. And I know, in fact, I talked to Matt Lehman about this a little bit because I was a little confused after the mayor contacted me whether or not Downey could insist that they not quote to other parties. And the way Matt explained it is that right now Graber is the agent of record, and if they choose to bid on the coverage, Downey will only allow Graber to submit a quote through or insuring for workman comp through IPEP because they are the agent of record. You know, whether or not EMC and IPEP have some kind of agreement where they won't insure unless it's a combination deal, that's news to me. I hadn't heard anything about that. But I do know that there are companies out there that are now actively competing against IPEP. Whether they're competitive or not, I don't know.
Scott, representing Star Insurance, why didn't you quote workman's comp?
We didn't, simply because of the discussion that the Graber representative and yourself have had. It is an extremely competitive market. It's a market where you can see a lot of lost profit from the carrier side, so not a lot of carriers want to look at it. We have several relationships ourselves as an independent office and try to seek out a work comp quote from a lot of those sources. And all of them came back for one reason or another in a combination of experience run versus loss run activity on your historical claim activity and so forth. And we had no takers that wanted to go ahead and provide a lot of money for package quote on the work comp side.
Yeah, one thing that I would recommend is in the future, if you're going to try to get quotes from somebody other than IPEP for workman comp, you probably ought to start that process sooner because it takes a lot of effort and time to compile information that they review. There may be some companies out there given enough time that you might be able to, but, and I don't know whether that was an issue with what Scott's referring to, but I do know that in Bixler's case, they had somebody that they were working with, they just ran out of time. And they felt that they could probably get a quote from a company had they been given a little more time. So in the future, you may want to consider that as you go forward with getting quotes on this. The problem that you run into is right now you've got to have coverage in place January 1 because the coverage, as I understand, runs from January 1 to December 31. Even if you wanted to go out and try to get a different quote at this point, it may be difficult to get somebody to put something together between now and the end of the year. I think it would be asking an awful lot. You know, Bixler's, I know, said that they felt they could probably do it, but
So we gave the opportunity to
they were
more than
given the
just these two
opportunity
to
to
bid.
submit
Yeah.
this by a
Amount of
week or
time.
so ago, and they couldn't meet that timeline.
IPEP too will cover police and fire under workman's comp, where I don't think any other insurance company will cover them through.
Could be.
If they have to take it out of
Referring
PERS.
to is the IPEP work comp is full medical benefits for police and fire, where most of the other work comp for police and fire would not be full medical. So if they had issues with medical, they'd have to pull from their PERS basically, where they would pull those benefits from. And that's not the case with IPEP, it's full medical.
Well, I just don't think it's fair that Downing blocks everything out. We can't save $20,000 if we wanted to.
Okay, well, again, with all due respect, they don't block anybody. Any other carrier could have provided you with...
They're taking away our right to have an agent of record. And I thought that was a right that we had, but you're telling me we don't have that right. We can't pick out who our agent can be.
Well, I guess I'm not sure what you think you would accomplish with an agent of record letter. It would just be a matter of a different agent
Right.
administering the same policies.
Yeah, that's what I want.
So,
I guess I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, I didn't realize we had that kind of relationship. I thought we had a pretty good working...
No, I never said we had a bad one. I'm just saying we should be able to pick what agent we want to take on the Downing insurance risk.
All right, Downing should be available to all of them.
they are.
Instead,
They are. They're it's an
Downing's
open,
blocking that out. I
it's an
don't think
open
really-
agent,
I don't think they can do that.
but it has something to do with this connection with EMC. And, you know, I wasn't aware of any relationship between EMC and IPEP, but apparently there is. That doesn't make any sense to me. But because you can have a different workman comp coverage with a different company. Now, whether IPEP will only use EMC, if that's what you're saying, Barb, is that the case or not?
I can't tell you that 100%.
No, it doesn't.
That I don't know. I mean, I know that there are instances where IPEP works with other carriers. My understanding, and I may be wrong, but my understanding was when we requested the quote, basically what we were told was they would only write it as a package. If they currently write it as a package, they would not offer it as two separate pieces.
But they do that for Byrne? Did you say that?
Only because EMC...
No, I don't care. Did they do it for Byrne?
I'm not sure what the total situation was with Byrne. IPEP, I believe, writes the workers' comp for the city of Byrne.
And that's a different agent than the person that does the property and casualty.
I don't
Different
know
agent.
that.
I think it is. I know it is. The same with the county.
I think we can agree that the bottom line is we want the best coverage,
Cheapest cost.
and cheapest cost.
Right.
The problem is right now is we don't know, I mean, and I understand what Barbara you're saying is like, it doesn't really matter who the agent is. If it's IPEP, if it's IPEP and EMC, through Downey, it's going to be...
Whether it's a different
167.
agent, then that's the only one that they're going to quote with.
Right. The problem right now is that we don't know, outside of IPEP and EMC,
Is there somebody else that can provide it that would be willing
cheaper
to
than
uncouple the
167.
And
coverage?
now we don't have the time to
right.
find it out.
That's, in my opinion, that's
Right.
the issue.
Right.
So, and to your point earlier, we have to have it by January. Okay, this is our option. So, if we want to start January 2nd, figuring out, is it possible to separate it and get cheaper than 167 or whatever it was, then I think we have a responsibility to look into that. But
I do too, Cam.
But that's the issue, is we don't know. And I'd say based on experience of what they were, with what the workman's comp market looks like today, it'd be real tough. But
Well, Tim had mentioned just a little bit ago that he had talked to Bixler, and they may be able to. Is that what you said? I don't want to put words.
Yeah, I talked to Matt Lehman, and then Matt had a conversation with Doug Nelson. Doug called and said he had been working with a company to get a quote, and he said they just didn't have enough time to get it put together. So if we said that we were going to give companies up until a certain date to give us quotes, and they weren't able to meet that deadline.
Did we offer this to all Adams County insurers? Or did we offer?
Yeah.
Okay. And 2 of them gave a quote?
One denied, and there was another one that just didn't respond at all. So,
We did our due diligence.
we
That's
did.
the numbers.
I'm still stuck on that, being blocked out this agent of record. It seems to me we should have that right, and I'd like to suggest that Tim look into that if that's a violation of our rights to I don't know who you check that with.
I'm surprised that Downey would have that power.
I do too.
But
It's
they-
just 20,000.
Well,
Yeah.
We don't know what the other bidder
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Did you get a letter from Downey?
so are we, for tonight's purposes,
For tonight's purposes,
coverages for 2016, we're looking,
I would just wait till the next meeting and make the final decision then. Have Tim check if our rights are being violated, and also check to see if Bixler can come up with a work comp quote, so we have something comparable. The way it is now, we're never going to get a
better deal.
chance to get a better deal because Downing's blocking us out. That's how I feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Anybody want to make any more comments?
The only thing I could offer up, Mayor, is certainly I'm representative of the piece that we put together for the city as an agency through Selective Insurance, and Sean Valley is our field representative on that. He's more, if you'd like to ask him questions, he's more than willing to answer anything as far as the struggles the carriers deal with when they look at this from a rating perspective, to give you a little more insight from that standpoint, if you want to address him in any way.
No, I think I understand, and if you got something to say, please do. I don't know you. I know Scott. That's why I direct everything to Scott here.
Sure. Sean, do you have anything you want to share with the committee?
In regards to your questions as to whether IPEP will write workers' compensation along with another company's quote, like our selective quote, there's many instances where we have IPEP as the work comp carrier, IPEP as the work comp carrier along with our selective package quote.
Okay. So they've done it in other communities or other cities, towns.
That's done. City of Kendallville, that's done. There's a bunch of different cities that is the case throughout the state.
But you couldn't get an iPad quote now? You're saying you can't get that quote now?
No.
I have no authority to do anything through
Because it's already tied.
separate column there.
Okay. Well, I think I understand it, most of it anyhow. But I think we'll move forward and just table the decision to the next meeting on December the 15th.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Thank both of you for quoting. I'm sorry about the confusion on what's what, but if we have an opportunity to save some money for the city of Decatur, I think we have to look at that. Agreed. Thank you very much. Okay, ordinance 2015-17 was approved on 2 readings at the last meeting. This is the surety bond ordinance, so it's up for third and final reading.
Take it away.
I'm not ready for that.
Okay, sir, any discussion? We talked about this briefly at the Board of Works meeting. The purposes, we're now required to bond people that handle money at a minimum $5,000 per individual. The use of a blanket surety bond is the cheapest way to bond the maximum number of people. But there are certain other positions, either statutorily or because of the amount of money that they handle, that you may consider doing differently. The ordinance requires that the city clerk treasurer be bonded for $300,000. That is required by statute. You could actually require a higher bond if you so chose, but statutorily, that is a maximum figure that would be required, and that's what the blanket, or that's what this ordinance would require, $300,000 bond. Then with regard to the utility, Dan Rickard's position, utility manager, and then the utility clerks and the deputy clerk and the city clerk treasurer, those positions would be bonded individually at $30,000, and under this ordinance, everybody else is bonded under the blanket surety bond at $5,000. The cost of these additional bonding requirements, basically we're paying about $350 a year. That's going to go up to probably somewhere around $1,400 to $1,500 a year in order to bond everybody and meet the statutory requirements. So with that having been said, if there's no other questions, then I'd entertain a motion to introduce ordinance 2015-17 for third and final reading by short title only.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Ordinance 2015-17, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur which establishes bond amounts for certain officers, employees, and contractors, which authorizes a blanket surety bond for all of the officers, employees, and contractors of the city, and which establishes the aggregate coverage sufficient to provide coverage of such officers, employees, and contractors.
There's one word in there that didn't sound right. Could you read that again? I'm teasing. So we need a motion to...
Mayor.
Make a motion. Motion second, so we'll have roll call vote, please.
Cam Collier.
Yes.
Bill Crown.
Yes.
Matt Dyer.
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp.
Yes.
Ken Meyer.
Yes.
Motion, ordinance 2015-17 is adopted. Thank you. I had on the agenda that we were going to have some council appointment. I need to delay that to the next meeting, so there's an appointment by the council to the Plan Commission, and then also to the Redevelopment Commission. There's two appointments there, so we'll do that at the next meeting. The next item is the Downtown Facade Program. Melissa, if you could lead us through that.
Good evening. Earlier this year, the City Council very kindly allocated $50,000 a year for the next 5 years for the Downtown Facade Program. And Decatur Main Street has put together drafted the documents for application and information for this plan that we would like to roll out in 2016. What I'm handing all of you is a draft of the document. Please look it over, ask questions, make suggestions, and Decatur Main Street's Board of Directors and the Design Committee is doing the same. We would like to bring all those comments back to the next City Council meeting for a full adoption of the program so we can solicit applications starting in January.
Okay. She'll just hand out information tonight. Let everybody review it over the next couple of weeks, and then we'll take action at the next meeting.
That's what we would like to do.
Okay. Is that all right with everybody?
If you would like to give this email to you, I can certainly do that as well.
Sounds good, Melissa. I don't think there's any problem with
Any
that.
questions or comments about it, please let me know.
Okay, I'm going to put that down for the agenda of the next meeting. Facade. Okay, Another item that's on the agenda, any other questions on this? Okay. Is the Quincy Depot. Melissa, if you could lead us through that one also.
Okra, which is the state agency that administers the stellar program, so we are familiar with them. They are partnering with the Indiana Department of Tourism Development to provide a grant called the Place-Based Investment Program. And when we looked at it, it checks all the boxes that apply to the Quincy Depot. And so the grant amount we can request is between $20,000 and $50,000. It is a 1 to 1.5 match. So whatever the state puts up, we have to put up 1.5. The 1 has to be cash. The half can be in kind. And with all the, we can count all the volunteer hours of the Quincy Depot committee, money they've already expended on the depot, money they've already expended on the depot. So we think we're in pretty good shape in kind-wise. On the matching side, the Quincy Depot ladies have agreed to put up $20,000 of their own money towards this, and so we're asking the city if they can, if they're willing to put in any additional funds to make up that balance.
So
What they have left to spend is approximately, to get the depot finished, is approximately $80,000.
So they're going to put up 20,000, and we're applying for how much? Up to 50?
Up to 50. So if we put in 50, we have to come up with 50 cash match.
But it's up to 50, so we
We can certainly request less.
but wouldn't the difference is 30, right? I mean,
The difference would be 30.
Okay, so the Quincy group is putting in 20. So we need to come up with 10 to make 30, and then we get 20 from...
No.
We've gone the wrong way here?
Yep.
Okay.
50 would come from the state.
Okay.
We have to come up with 50 more.
So we need to come up with 30.
Okay.
So the Quincy ladies have put in 20, and we would need to come up with 30,000.
Where does these hours come in? As in kind, then? So they're going to put up 20 in cash and then
They're going to put up
10,000
20
and
in cash, but then we have to have
10 in kind?
I'm
I'm not trying to be difficult, I just can't get it in my head.
The grant goes from $20,000 to $50,000.
Uh-huh.
That's what the state is willing to give, right? So, but you have to put up 1.5 times that amount. So if we requested 50, we have to put up 75.
Right, okay,
25 of that 75
Can be in
would
kind.
be in kind.
right.
The remaining 50 would have to be in cash. So if they're going to go after the full amount of 50, then we've got to come up with 50 in cash. 20 of that is what they have available from donations.
So we have to come up with 30.
We have to come up with 30.
City funds.
So where does this fit in? Didn't they put a request into the capital campaign?
They did, yes.
We had City Council had approved 500,000. Maybe I'm reaching out too far, but they put it, not 500,000, they put in 2,500,000 over 5 years, because we didn't want to designate 500,000 per year, but over 5 years. Can we use some of that money for this?
That's what I'm thinking, like if it was from the capital campaign, it's what was already set aside for these projects, that you can make up the difference, that 30, from that, what we've already set aside for capital campaign projects, which we haven't spent any of that yet.
Yeah, we may
Will.
spend
We may
some
do
of
some.
that with the First Street property.
Right. Do we have 100,000 more worth of work to do there?
Their total project of, oh,
At the depot?
What they have left to spend, which is the budget as of today, is just about $80,000.
That's what it takes to finish it. Okay, so we don't need 125, you're saying we need 80?
and they,
Is that,
no,
But if they can get it all, they'll find something to do with it.
but they've also raised, no, they've raised over 50.
Yeah, they're gonna spend 20 of that.
They've already allocated and spent towards that 80. There's not 80 left to spend.
Yes. I have a budget here that indicates there's about $79,600 left worth of work to do
Okay.
on the depot.
After they've spent what they've raised, or before?
No.
I mean,
Their total expenses to date are $18,942.
that went into it.
$18,000.
So of the 50-some they've raised, they've spent 18. Okay? But there's others that are already allocated because they already have things lined up. So it's already committed. So cash on hand, cash that they could actually put up, that's not tied to anything, is 20. Right? Which is why they're limited to 20.
So you're asking for 30,000, and we're suggesting it come from that
Capital campaign.
capital campaign fund that you're already allocated.
But if we go for the 30, we're going to end up with over $100,000, and they only need 80 to finish the project.
Right?
So the question becomes, if we're successful with this and we put 30,000, because really, if they raise 50, the total project cost is like 90, and if 30 comes from the capital campaign, that hits the 90, and all of a sudden we get 50 more from Okra. So the question I would ask is, where can that 50 be spent? Does it have to be on this particular project?
Yeah.
I would think it's a
I bet it would.
yeah.
I think you have to submit a project, wouldn't you,
And I
for
know
the
that you're
grant?
about to say freight depot.
You can always
Yeah.
do something down there. You can put in a parking.
Well, it's a thought.
Well, right, you can
Pave
pave the
it,
lot,
do
you
something.
can put some drainage.
It's not like
in
there's
there.
not money there.
No, they don't. But
But wouldn't she have to list that in the grant? I mean, if there's some other future projects within that
My
building.
concern about the freight depot is we don't know enough about what it's going to take to get that up, get it working. And we could put a dollar figure in here that we're going to use it on the freight depot, but I think it's going to be frowned upon that there's no, what does it take to finish it, and is there a plan in place for it?
so I guess my question would be,
So, I guess my recommendation would be to request less than the 50.
right, if we can't use it, then why would we?
Right. And we have more likelihood to get it if we ask for less.
So if we requested
We request,
30,
the total project cost is set is $80,000.
Okay.
40,000 from Okra. And then the other 40 would be the responsibility of the city. So 20,000 is already coming from the Penzi lady, at least 20,000.
But what about
Cash match.
the other half that we have to?
I think
That
That's
half is
in
in
kind.
kind.
That's
So the bonus
30%.
hours, the money we've already spent on it, that counts as all the in-kind, and we're good
so
on
apply
that
for,
number.
well, what you're saying is our total's going to be 80 instead of 125. We're going to
And
request
20 per month.
30,000 in, 40,000 in Okra dollars.
How much
Good idea.
money you ask for?
I need 20,000.
let me ask,
We just saved 10,000 right quick.
I got a quick question. The capital campaign, are we responsible for spending that money, or is that somebody
Yeah.
else's
Well,
responsibility?
city council's responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We designated it and we're
Right.
responsible for
Yeah.
spending it.
They cannot spend it without approval of council.
And that includes donated money,
Right, that's correct.
because it's been donated.
They've raised over $600,000, almost $700,000, and that can't be spent without council approval. Got questions in the back, Greg? Les?
Where's the freight depot going to go?
That's undecided. That's what Melissa's saying. We really don't have a plan for that freight depot.
Between the police station and your fire building.
We're adding it on to the fire building. So you can maintain it.
That's another dumb question.
Thank you, understand.
That's what Melissa's saying. We don't have a plan that she can submit to Okra that details what we're going to do with that, so she doesn't really want to include that in the application.
I would think likely close to the depot. Yeah, if it ever happened.
Okay, so you're requesting $20,000 from the city, and I'm saying it's available through the capital campaign.
Make that motion.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, Motion's carried.
And just to clarify, this is only being spent if we actually get...
Get the money, right? Get the 40,000 from Oakland. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Melissa will get the money. She's been doing good. Okay, we have a request from North Adams Arts Council. They would like to have Pine, Wine, and Dine. Mary's here. Maybe Mary can... Pine, Wine, and Dine. Mary Byers here. She can maybe expound upon what that means.
It's an art class offered by Carol Macklin, and it will be flower arranging, making a Christmas wreath. I have a class description we have to use.
No, that's okay, but that's basically what it is. It's an art class, and it's they want to have this event on December 17th from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. That includes setup time and everything.
Where?
At the North Adams Arts Council headquarters, which is the former police station. I'm on North there.
Why do we have to approve it?
Because it's our building.
Oh.
It's our building yet.
Yeah, great. Make a motion to grant the request.
Second. Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you.
That's why you built the facility to use it.
We have been informed that we received an award from the Indiana Main Street Program. Not sure what that award is, but they asked us to attend the ceremony on Monday, December the 7th. It starts at 1 o'clock at the Capitol Building in Indianapolis. So,
Is it a lot of money?
I don't think so. I think it's just a award for doing a good job. I think, but I'm not. They haven't specified exactly what it is. So, I would suggest that Melissa and I and Larry Ish was heavily involved in the organization of that will attend that ceremony.
Great.
Okay, we're down to department heads. Dan, you're first.
No.
Good. Greg?
I can finally say now that we've covered a long end of a road, we're almost there, that we have our final guy to hire. Teddy Bessison just completed his state physical. There were some bumps along the way with that, with problems with his ears, but it was something they discovered down there, and he had a problem with infection. And so we had to wait, and he got those things taken care of. And so he's passed everything, he's ready to go. All I'm waiting for now is paperwork to come to me that has to be signed by Phyllis, John, and myself. And then that will go to PERF, which is our retirement fund, and it'll be left up to them. Hopefully, by the end of the year, we'll have him hired. So it just depends on how soon PERF gets busy. So
Good.
We're almost at the end of the week.
Good deal. Thank you, Greg. Les? Well, we just about called IPEP there. Very good. Les, anything?
No, I'm fine.
Jeremy?
Big collection on MS Friday.
Good. Good job this year. Jim?
Nothing.
Billy? Nate?
As you know, I've been working on the annexation plans for the Northwest Winchester Road and the jail site. Meeting with Christie tomorrow to try to develop part of the financial impact study for those. Part of that includes doing boundary surveys, essentially getting a legal description on those areas. I have quotes for that work. A $250 quote was a low quote by Miller Land Surveying for the jail site. And from Bill Lenhall for the Winchester Road for $800. Maybe approval to go ahead and have those two individuals start on those two individual surveys. So I have those in the time frame. Hopefully at the next meeting I can have a more detailed schedule as far as public hearings and the rest when I have a chance to meet with Christie.
Yeah. Well, we hired Christie to help, Christie Sturt to hire her to help Nate proceed with this. It's in line with what we requested, so we probably need a motion to approve those appraisal quotes.
Well,
Or survey quotes, I'm sorry.
Quotes, yes, and sort of allocate what funds are going to pull that from.
From your stormwater fund, that'd be fine.
There you go.
That dollar amount just to CCD.
Yeah, we just use the CCD funds, so we need a motion to spend CCD funds for those surveys?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Anything else, Nate?
No.
Ian?
The wastewater plant was issued a certificate of recognition for weather observing from the National Weather Service for 50 years.
For 50 years. Wow.
Every day. Every
Wow.
day it's been recorded for 50 years.
Well, that's great.
River level, precipitation, snowfall. They have a formula to determine snow cover so they can calculate melt in the spring.
Oh, good, good. I often wondered how they measured snow because the wind blows it in different areas. Well, I'm sure there's a way to do it. Yeah. Well, good. Congratulations. That's great. Melissa? Nothing? Don't have anybody else here. Comments from city council members? Anybody got anything they want to bring up?
I have a couple things. Go ahead,
All
Bill.
right. Go ahead, Bill.
Who did the Christmas decorations in the lobby?
Well, Melissa was kind of in charge of it. She has assistance.
Everyone here
Yeah.
in the city has helped.
Very good.
Had lots of
I don't
good.
think I helped very much on that, so
You were
I
a good
supervisor.
But thank you.
No, nice job. Nice job.
Looks nice. I just compliment also like the Main Street for organizing the downtown open houses, the Christmas open houses and everything. I mean, I don't know, it was fantastic. And then we went to the tree lighting. That was
Tree lighting was
another
very
group,
good.
but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, you hear things that we didn't have before. There's music down here a couple days, you know, downtown. Yeah, it was kind of nice to hear. So.
Santa across the street.
Yeah.
Reindeer. I don't think I ever
Reindeer.
seen a reindeer when I was a kid.
Good job, Main Street. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have some.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kenny, go
Couple
ahead.
things.
Go ahead.
First thing is the oath of office for all council members and department heads and people on boards and commissions will be December 28th. It'll be Monday, December 28th, 7 p.m. at the Riverside Center.
Riverside
And
now. Okay.
Bob, I'll get you more on that. And then the other thing is, I was going to wait on this, but I was advised that we might want to discuss it briefly tonight and make a motion on this. And that is on the final council meeting of the year, December 15th. And that would be to move it to Riverside Center so that we can properly honor our mayor and Bill Crone as they depart our council, their final meeting.
I will make a motion to that end to just include refreshments of...
Yes. Yeah, I'll take care of, between me and Melissa and Phyllis, we'll take care of all that.
I'll second the motion.
I guess I have to call for the vote then, huh? Motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Thank you. Any comments from the public? I want to bring anything up? Mary?
I was asked to present progress to North Adams Arts Council. Should I do now?
Sure. Great.
To understand how far North Adams Arts Council has come, you kind of have to know where we've been. And we were in a moldy building. That when it rained, it came right through the ceiling. There's terrible parking conditions to get to class. And teachers were volunteering their time and their supplies to just keep the doors open for 5 students that would show up. Where we are, we have an amazing board who volunteer their time and energy to see the arts flourish in Decatur. Thank you to the City Council who has loaned us your building that is amazing, and we're taking full advantage of what we can accomplish at this time. We have a new website that is accepting payments now via credit card and PayPal, designed by Clark Media, who also designed our logo. We have 26 memberships since the opening, and our class count since the opening in September is 108 students.
Wow.
We're having all of our teachers, they have all undergone background checks in order to teach at the North Adams Arts Council. Safety is our top priority for our students. And we are also offering rentable party space
for our themed parties. We'll have an instructor that goes with us as well. The classes that we've offered are Creative Kitchen, where kids can come in and make a mess in the building instead of at their home. Mask making, spooky cookies and canvas, scaredy cats, adult silk scarf dyeing. My daughter did this one and the kids one. American Girl Workshop, Let's Paint, Intro to Sewing 1 and 2, Petite Fours and Pumpkins, a Lego workshop, watercolor classes with Pat Raymond. The list goes on and on and on and on. And our upcoming classes for December, during spring break, we're going to have you can build a snowman. It'll paint a snowman, and we'll have it on display out in the Founders Park area, and also another silk scarf dyeing class for the kids during school hours. They have something to do when they're not in this class. So classes that are coming up, and we have just received all of our information this morning. We'll have metal forging for adults, cartooning, calligraphy, figure drawing for beginners, coffee and canvas, adult painting classes, adult silk scarf dyeing classes, preschool music and movement and art class, children's creative kitchen, sewing, knitting, junior theater class. We're proud to present that we will be in January launching the junior theater class for children in 1st through 6th grades, as well as children in vocal exploration classes. And we will have a big production in May. So we'd like to invite you all to that. We have things for preschoolers, music and movement, and so much more. We're coming along, and we're excited to see where we can take this.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, just one thing. You mentioned something in the Founders Park over here.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if Melissa or Main Street or somebody.
And the Arts Council and the Industrial Trades class at Belmont, we're all partnering.
Okay, good.
North Adams Arts Council is going to have a class that the kids will paint the snowmen. They're about 3 feet tall, and they'll be on display at the park throughout the winter holidays. It's about 30 snowmen.
Good,
And
good
this will be
idea.
a free workshop, so if you sign up online at www.naacdecatur.com, you can go
What's
on
the
there.
age for the kids, age groups?
It is 3 to 103.
Big kids. Okay, well, Mary, the only other question would be, I know the city, and maybe Tim needs to review that for us. I think the contract took us to the end of the year, and then it's renewable. If nobody objects, I mean, it automatically renews. I don't know, I think maybe we...
A lease agreement, yeah.
We maybe need to look at the utility cost. You know, just, I think we need to look at that. Maybe Phyllis can get you some numbers on, you know, what the utility is for down there, and, you know, see where we're at. I think that was our intent when we first started here 6 months ago, or whenever that was, that we would review it and see what we do for utilities. I'm glad we could help out the North Adams Arts Council. I think it's worked out very well, something to be proud of, so we just have to review
Even
that.
if people aren't interested in the classes, they can still donate to your cause?
Yes,
assuming
they can.
Public?
That's correct. Happy to take the donation.
Yeah,
Great.
okay. Thanks,
Keep up
Mary.
the good work.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, what are you doing here tonight? You're here, okay. Thank you. Mr. Bedwell? Oh. Max, Wyman, Craig? No. Okay. Phyllis?
Yep, good, thank you.
Tim? Thank you.
A couple things. The sale of Old City Hall was completed yesterday, so that's done and over with. I don't know that any specific use has been identified, but that's something that probably will be forthcoming in the next few weeks. At your next meeting, council probably should go ahead and make an appointment to the Plan Commission in order for that person to participate in the organizational meeting of the Plan Commission, which is before your first meeting in January. I think right now Tyler serves on the Plan Commission as the City Council representative. So that's up to you to decide whether you want to reappoint Tyler or if you'd want to appoint somebody else
Okay. And we can do that at the next meeting.
at the next meeting, yeah. Jeremy got an email from Bob Bronson regarding the Wetlands Nature Preserve. It was a favorable email in that we were picked as one of the projects for funding. It has to go to federal government, who actually has the money, but at least at the state level, we made the cut, which is good news, because that's a big hurdle to overcome. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that there actually is money available to fund the project. I think that's it.
That's it?
Yep.
Good. One last item is Phyllis had budgeted $16,000 as the cost for the general election that we had here in November. Cost came in a little bit more than that. We're $2,757.52 over the $16,000 that we budgeted. So we need to, we took the $16,000, we budgeted the $16,000 in Common Council's budget, so it went over $2,757.52. So we really need to approve an additional $2,757.52 out of the Common Council's budget.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
That's part of the reason.
I don't have any money in the mayor's budget. I tell you, there's $420 left.
That's part of the reason they're looking to vote centers to
Oh, that's
curb the
part
cost.
of it. Yeah, part of it. That's part of it, yeah. Okay, claims.
I'll make a motion to claims and pay the advertised.
Second.
Motion second, pay the claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. We can adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion